Hello everyone, welcome to my weekly Wednesday live episode 48. 48, it's still the year 2021 for some weeks more. It is October 27th at 9 p.m. here in Finland. My name is Juha Ruokangas, your humble servant on a mission from the gods and goddesses of fretted instruments. And today I have the honor to interview the god of flawlessly fluent fingerstyle guitar, the almighty ambassador of acoustic awesomeness, my dear friend Petteri Sariola. Welcome, Petteri.
That's an intro. God damn!
Thought you might appreciate
you just set the bar pretty up, man.
I had rehearsed that line. I admit it. I had rehearsed it. So, but I thought that I would.
You could hear the conviction, like it came up like beautifully acted line.
Thank you.
I appreciate the effort.
Thank you, Petteri. Welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. This is exciting because I've listened to basically all the episodes that you've done,
which is crazy.
Yeah, it is, and so it's exciting. And plus, the one thing is that I've never watched it live. I always check I always listen to the podcasts afterwards, after it's done. So the thing is, like when my daughter goes, my three-year-old daughter goes to sleep around 8. And while she's falling asleep, I'm sitting in the room and listening to podcasts. So I got a good section of 40 minutes of podcast. Dad's 40 minutes of podcast time every day. So there's a lot of it has been you there.
Thank you. And well, I knew that Petteri is actually following the broadcast, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure if there's ever been a guest here who has been following most or all of the episodes. So this is kind of nerve-wracking for me as well.
Okay, we'll try to make really a lot of references to the past episode.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah. So, but before we dive in, since you mentioned it, I think we have to say hello to a certain little girl who might watch, if not live stream, maybe later. Moi Viivi. Mä täällä juttelen sun iskän kanssa. Oli kiva leikkiä sun uudella nukkekodilla. Ja terveisiä täältä Emmalta, Eliakselta ja Juha Kummilta. Nähdään taas. Moi moi. Yes. So, yes, Viivi, Petteri's 3-year-old daughter, as lovely as they come, I would say. Yeah. So I was there telling in Finnish, so Viivi would understand how fun it was to play together with Viivi's new dollhouse the other day we visited. So that's what's going on.
I gotta say, Juha, you set the reference bar for being a godfather. Like you're just the most awesome godfather that anyone could ask for, and your family just rocks. So I'm so lucky to have you in my life.
Oh man!
Cheers, man.
Now I don't know what to say to that.
Now this is vodka, so.
Okay, that explains.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't talk this much.
Enough patting on the back. And we dive in. I prepared a few questions. Let's go to the beginnings. You come from a musical family.
Yeah.
So how did that sculpt the little Petteri, your childhood, coming from a musical family? Was it stressful? Was it traumatic? Tell us all the secrets.
Well, my mother used to say that if just don't become a musician.
Okay.
You know, but at the same
Fair
time,
enough.
But at the same time, both parents were very supportive of our music hobbies. So I'm a musician. My brother Yuri is a musician. My big sister Soila is a musician as well. So there's quite a few of us.
Yeah.
Plus, then there's the cousins and stuff like that. So altogether, there's like a dozen musicians.
Yeah.
I can't.
Maybe it's a disease. You know, it's like a contagious disease that goes in the genetic.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
No, it's funny because that's often in my work as well. You know, people come, young people come to ask me, should I'm interested in making guitars, and I'm telling them, if you can avoid it at any cost, don't do it. Because it has there's a price to pay. I think it's a similar thing as with being a musician. And I kind of understand, okay, half tongue in cheek, but with your parents like telling that, don't ever become a musician. I get it. But at the same time, it's a calling, so what can you do?
Exactly. Yeah. So the family was really supportive about little Petteri wanting to play the guitar.
And how about what about guitar? You mentioned guitar. When did guitar come into the picture? I saw a little documentary, a Finnish documentary. I have it actually. It's in the description in this video. I put the link there. What was the name of that? Respect Petteri Sariola, something like that. And there you mentioned a little bit about your mother telling that first guitar, not a guitar, but first guitar. Tell us.
Yeah. So mom said that I took like a little näkkileipä, like not
what is it
rye
called?
bread, but this hard piece of thin bread.
Yeah.
And I would like chew and bite a guitar, a small guitar shape out of that, and then I would be like, So that kind of stuff just started to happen, and my mom was like, maybe we should put Petteri on for some guitar lessons.
Okay.
It seems like he it seems like he's into it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You okay, dude?
well, I've seen you probably first time on TV when you were like that small, or at least on the TV you looked that small when I saw you on TV. But you were as a kid, I think, performing at one of your. Weren't you performing at one of your mother was doing TV programs, singing and doing things like that, and weren't you like in something like that as a kid?
Most likely. I don't have any specific recollections of like TV recording situations, but yes, I were my mom has said that I was a really easy kid in a way.
Yeah.
A bit weird maybe, but really easy in a way that, she could take me to the shows.
Right.
Like not every kid is okay like hanging out in the backstage and somebody like mom coming up and asking like, hey, do you want to do something on stage like this and this, and like, yep, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so I got a lot of stage experience in a young age.
Right.
Like probably even before I picked up the guitar.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, what about rock music? I mean, when did rock music and mentioning about guitar, chewing a guitar shape out of a piece of bread and playing that, but then like seriously going to guitar lessons and starting to play guitar. What kind of music would that be like, or your kind of musical awakening, like you personally?
Well, it went like this. So I wanted to play the guitar, and I actually wanted to play rock and roll.
Right.
But there were no electric guitar teachers around at the time in the place where we lived.
Mm.
No can do. So I had to start out with the classical guitar.
Okay.
And I thought, like, well, it's not. Nah, I wouldn't really want to do that. But like, if that's the only option, it's better than nothing. I'll go with that, and I'll switch to electric at some point. Now, what happened was that when I started to play it, a couple of things. Within 2 weeks of me picking up the guitar, I had composed my first song. So very early on, I was just writing music all the time, almost like on monthly basis. I would have a new piece that I would represent to my classical guitar teacher.
Right.
And this was also before I actually even picked up the guitar as a kid. I would actually compose a lot in my head, and I would do these sing melodies and do a little bit of beatbox, and I would represent these little tunes to my dad, and cool. I got some fond memories of that. But circling back to the classical guitar thing, what also happened was that after like 2-3 years of doing that, it just started to feel like, what the okay, I'm not bad at this.
Okay.
I'm getting pretty good. It's not like it's not where I'm really aiming to go, but I get a kick out of making this happen, though. So I picked up the electric guitar a bit later on. I was probably like around 10 or 12, and I learned the like blues scale and 12 bar blues from my brother, and that's where the sort of the rock and roll started to kind of pull me away from classical, and they coexisted for a good while. I mean, I played classical until I was about 18-ish, so 10 years and plus, and then electric guitar I kept on playing, and
and I remember again, as you can see, I'm just stealing stuff from the earlier documentary done by the other guys. So thank you for your inspiration. Because you mentioned that at the time, your teenage years, and being the time when the guitar heroes would be all over the television, and so there's that kind of awakening, some kind of an awakening to rock music, but. Also in this same documentary, you mentioned a name. You mentioned Michael Hedges. That happened a while later. Well, and he made an impact, right?
Yeah. So now we're sort of circling back to the time around where I kind of stopped playing classical. So what happened was that electric guitar had started to take more space in my life, but I wasn't really at home in the electric guitar thing. It felt a bit too loose for me, and the classical guitar felt a bit too tight. And so what happened was also I didn't really fit in other categories, and I struggled to form bands, and my bands just didn't work out. Maybe it was me, maybe it was some other people around, but it just didn't click and happen. And one thing was also that as a teenager, I started to slap a lot. Bass slapping technique. I got So I one of my friends in the junior high school showed me how to slap bass, and I just went crazy about that. Almost same instant as I got it rolling, I adopted that to the electric guitar and a little bit to the classical pieces as well that I just kept composing all the time.
Right.
So, but the problem was, it didn't really work out. I mean, bass slapping on the electric guitar didn't have a context. I didn't have a band where it would fit, and the classical was kind of fading away. So what happened at that point by accident was, or not by accident, but my guitar teacher at Pop and Jazz Conservatory of Helsinki, Tommi Paju, he put on a record of Michael Hedges because he thought, like, okay, Petteri's starting to sound like Michael Hedges.
Okay.
But what he thought, like, don't invent the wheel again, you know?
All right.
So he put on the Hedges record, and this is how the lesson started. Like, he put on the record, an LP, and I was listening on headphones, and and when the music starts, it was Aerial Boundaries, and the first notes, it was like time stopped, something happened, and I was like, this is the music I want to make.
Right.
It's a guitar orchestra, like an acoustic guitar orchestra thing. This is the music I want to make. So I need like 4 or 5 people or something, like, right? Yeah. And then maybe 30 seconds went by, and then Tommi stopped the record and asked me, Petteri, what do you think? How many guitar players were there?
Yeah.
On this record? Like 4 or 5. It's a band. Yeah. This is
like
it's a band, and I want to do this. And he said, no.
One guy. Yeah.
One person. And I'm like, the fuck? You're not serious. This is not real. And the lesson was pretty much that.
Yeah.
All there was. And I went and recorded on a C cassette the tunes, and I went home. I was just in this weird space. I feel the space coming back, like, oh no. But so I went back home. I picked up my grandfather's old steel string guitar. Bear in mind, I had never thought great things of the steel string guitar. I always thought it was like a dumb campfire instrument.
Right.
I never thought that, like, it would be like the centerpiece of music.
Your music, yeah.
Really. And I picked up my grandfather's guitar and started to do those sounds that Hedges got, like slap harmonics, alternate tunings, and I kept playing, and my fingers hurt, and I kept playing, and I had my high school exams. I look at the clock, like, no, fuck that, I just have to keep playing. All my friends are calling, fuck that, I need to keep playing. And like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, it's night. I need to keep playing. Okay, eat, fast, shower, bathroom. Keep playing, okay. And then I fall asleep. That goes on for 2 days. I kept on playing, and I missed my exams and stuff. And after 2 days, I went outside because I ran out of food. I went back home and I kept playing. Right. So it's just Michael Hedges just like
blew your mind.
Yeah, it was like I was like a bonfire that had been wetted with gasoline, and then then Hedges comes like.
Well, here. Let's pause, because this is what you just explained. Your guitar teacher putting that turntable needle, and then you listening to that song for a little while, and then time stopped. And this is those moments that I'm just kind of telling to people. I've been talking about these things on my other broadcast as well. I talked about the same kind of experience when I found out my calling as what I want to do with my life, and what and it's kind of same kind of time-stopping, indescribable experience of just all of a sudden understanding that, hey, there's something in this, and I would need to seize this moment and this substance that I am now experiencing, and that's those things that we all have these moments. It can be big ones, it can be smaller ones, like realizations and becoming aware of something, and then oftentimes we don't necessarily act upon them, depending on what age we are and what time and space in life we are at. And the older we get, the easier it gets to kind of just, all the fears that, oh yeah, that would be cool, but I have all these challenges and all these, and it gets so difficult. And then there's all these problems that would arise. But so this is something that it's just good to acknowledge that those experiences, those kind of fundamental experiences, that's the stuff, that's the real deal. When you're kind of experiencing that, the time stops and then you're like, what? And it's the coolest thing. And then exactly what you described, what happened afterwards. You hardly ate, you hardly slept, just everything else kind of went on the background, and you just focused, sort of like sank in and dived into that, to understanding better what was going on, which is very cool. It's thank you for sharing that. I think it's that's the real stuff. Well, anyway,
it's a magical moment when you you have all these puzzle pieces that you've kind of gathered throughout the years, and then suddenly some other puzzle piece comes along and you realize, like, this is a picture.
Yeah.
Like, what? For so long this didn't make sense. And it's also like a bit of a life lesson thing there, because things don't usually make sense when you're going ahead.
Yeah.
Now the moment that kind of, when you look back and you see the steps you've took, and where you came from, where you went, and where you arrived, and what happened then, there you see the story, and it's like loud and clear and simple. Like, yeah, of course this happened, and then that led to that thing, and which led to that thing.
Yeah.
But when you're there and you don't know where you're kind of stepping into,
exactly,
none of it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It only makes sense afterwards.
Yeah, you make the script. You write the script afterwards. You write the story afterwards, and connect all the dots. And in real life, oftentimes life forms out of these jumps to the unknown and scary moments and scary stuff where you have no idea what comes after this crossroad and after that, turning. Should I? Yeah. So, anyways, we go ahead. Yeah. You started practicing your future music, inspired by Michael Hedges, and we fast forward a little bit. Your first album, Silence, came out in 2007.
Yeah.
What was the feedback at the time?
Good.
From people.
Yeah. It was positive. I was working with a small label, and things went well. It was really intense also, and
we'll get to that. We'll get to the intense stuff.
Intense, yeah. I wasn't really prepared for everything, but then again, I don't know if you could have been.
Okay, so you were signed by a label. What was that what was that like at the time, like 2007? How does that work? Is it the same thing as these days, or different?
Oh, well, it must be different. Back then, it was just a small, nice label called Plastinka. It used to release like a lot of a cappella group Ryaton records. What else? Chemo Petrol, like Finnish bands, which were like a little bit on the artsy side.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I had like your classic artist sign deal.
Yeah. And so you started gigging.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Which went on. I think that, around this time, maybe after the first album was put out, or second. I don't know. It was around this time, maybe when we met, maybe somewhere we got to know each other first time. Do you remember? I don't know which year. We probably saw it, met at Frankfurt Music Messe. I have a picture here.
Oh, no way.
Of you.
Ah!
I can't say for sure this is the first time you are playing guitar at our booth at Frankfurt Music Messe.
It's not. God
Maybe it's
damn,
not.
Petteri.
But this is what I found. You have. That's my guitar you have there. That's my guitar. Dude. Did you ask permission to hold it? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't the first time, but
no. The first time is actually, it's not. It's so and so whether we actually met, but actually you came to Pop and Jazz Conservatory when I was studying.
That's right.
Around, let's say, 2005.
Yeah, that early. That's true.
Yeah, that's that early, and So you gave a small sort of lecture over there, and
like guitar maintenance stuff, and
yeah, things like that. So that's the first time I've seen you in person.
Okay,
I'm not sure if we. Because I was really kind of intense student, so I would usually kind of chat up with anyone who gave a lecture at school. But so yeah, that's the first time we've been physically in the same room.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
We got to know each other. Funnily enough, I think in Frankfurt, like we would meet there once a year. Got to know each other, and this was the time you mentioned the word intense.
Intense, what happened was that I started to, because my first album came out in 2007, and the thing was I started to develop the music and the sort of techniques that I do around 2003. That's when I heard Hedges. So from that moment on, I like, okay, this is going to be me. Let's do this and work on it. And it took me like a year and a half to develop the thing and create like half an hour of music.
Right.
Now, what happened? Now, just to, if we talk about the release of the albums and how intense it got, we have to also acknowledge that there was like years of pre-work before the first album came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what happened was, after I got my half an hour set fixed and okay, this is me, let's go out there. I had not told anyone at the school or not even family or not of what I do. Oh, I have told my guitar teacher, Petteri at the time, and he kind of started coaching me a lot for what I was doing. And so I gave my first half an hour set at this Pop and Jazz Conservatory like students' night thing. And it was like, yeah, I'm this guy you've been seeing for a few years in the hallways, and this is what I do.
Right. So that came out of the blue for everybody. Like,
yeah. And after that, I was like playing every goddamn Christmas party, student party, anywhere that I could get a stage, I'd be there and just playing all the house parties. Yeah. And then, so a lot of, I developed a lot of who I became as an artist and during those years. Like that was like fundamental work.
Yeah.
And so things got intense. The thing is, I started to play at Frankfurt Music Messe pretty early on. Let's say, 2005, 6 or so. And then what I would do there just kind of explains a little bit of my attitude was, I had my, I would have my demo slots.
Yeah.
With Simmer Duncan at the time. I had maybe, let's say three 15-minute things I would do every day. And all of those hours that I had left, like 8 hours basically, when the floor was open at Musikmesse, I would go around and play everywhere. I would go into the acoustic hall and play every booth, like every guitar at every booth. I would pick up cards and I'm like, I'm a new kid in town. I want to get contacts and throw myself out there. I was really bold. And I just wouldn't have. I used a lot of that energy back in the day. So yeah, it was pretty intense.
And this is how you met also Andreas Kunz, right?
Yeah,
the guitar maker. Andreas Kunz is the guitar maker whose acoustic guitars Petteri is using, playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
A German luthier, a very, very good, close, personal friend. And yeah, we've been working since I got my first Kunz was in 2007.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit before I released the first album. So that was a few songs on that record are played with Kunz as well.
Okay, so I'm gonna again fast forward a little bit. There was the second album, Faces.
Yep.
Came out, a lot of touring again, a lot of everything going on, and until 2010, as I have read from somewhere, I don't know if it's true or not, but I have read from maybe an interview somewhere that until in 2010, full stop.
Yeah.
What happened? 11 years. So, that's 11 years ago.
That's 11 years ago. Yeah.
I remember this time quite well, actually, because we talked in Frankfurt about these things. We had become close friends at the time as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like we became, Juha and I became like close friends. Like, we met at Musikmesse now and then it sort of led into me. It led into. Well, it didn't necessarily lead into something particularly, but around 2010,
we got closer and we really talked about important stuff to each other.
Yes. Before that, we were acquaintances, and 2010 we started actually hanging out.
Yeah,
which mostly happened at Frankfurt Musikmesse.
Yeah,
and we became really, really good friends. So what happened in 2010? Well, at that point, I had been working like a dog for 7 years. And what also happened was, God damn, this is a big lump of crap to go through. So yeah, I was
we don't need to go through all of it.
Okay.
You can make use a compressor.
I'll use a compressor. I was burning the candle from both ends. When I was working at full energy, and when I was off work, I would party and be just wasted and being an asshole. So
been there, done that. So I can relate. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
So what happened in 2010 was like, I just had to, I felt like when I got on stage, like when I perform, it's such a personal event for me. And if I'm not like honest to myself about my life, I cannot really perform my best. So it started to feel like I didn't want to go on stage anymore.
Right.
And I needed a break, and I felt like, this is it. I'm off. Thanks. Bye. And it's interesting. I still go through those next 2 years a lot, because 2010, 11, 12, I had to kind of put myself back together again, like completely kind of rebuild of who I was, and just make break and mend, basically.
Yeah.
I completely changed my life at that point. I started to partying. I stopped partying. I stopped little by little to not spend my time with weird company, and just going through a lot of therapy and that kind of stuff. And until I kind of got myself together, and it all kind of made sense little by little, because also, here's the thing, the guitar and the music is, in my teenage years, were like a lifeline, because I come from a broken home, and my teenage years were like really there was very, very kind of a lot of like alcohol, violent adults, kind of that kind of stuff. Not my parents, but they really chose a bunch of assholes to spend their time with, which they probably agree.
Yeah.
Asking, but that really, what happened was, we kind of moved away from where I spent my childhood, and what happened, I became like really isolated, and the guitar was like all there was for me, and what it means that I had not really grown as a person to, my guitar stuff is great, but I really kind of had to leave the guitar and, okay, like how can I can be a great guitar player, I guess, but how can I be a great human being?
How can you survive? How can you? Yeah.
And
which is often
years.
like if you think of there's oftentimes, well, not saying it's black and white, not saying that it must be this way or must be that way, but oftentimes when you read, or when you know talented artists and special artists, there's often something broken or something difficult, something hard, and the instrument and the art is channeling something.
Definitely.
And like you said, use the word lifeline. I mean, I can so relate to that, from my childhood and from my own experience, and from the feeling of isolation and the feeling of being outside looking in and never being kind of part of what's going on, and kind of feeling like the guy in the shadow, or the guy that I'm thinking a lot, and thining a lot of, and all the time having the experience of being somehow weird, like you said. I said somewhere earlier on, you used that word of yourself as well, which is but so these, like you said, I was talking over you, but I think I heard you saying that it took many years to kind of to heal and to get together.
And also, when I kind of went into the first part of my career between 2003 2010, there was like a lot of this sex, drugs, and rock and roll attitude. And I gotta say, man, that's a crappy attitude. I do not recommend that shit to anyone, because no, it's just like it didn't work for me, and I haven't seen it working for other people as well. The ones that look like they're doing sex, drugs, and rock and roll, it's usually a facade. Like it's like an image, but usually everyone's like, really, let's work, let's do this. And the ones that really do it, like, they don't last. No one lasts doing that game. So why am I saying this? Is the reason is because it took me a while to realize, like what you just said, as we were talking about the whole lifeline thing, was that for many years I played music and I had no idea why. I didn't know why music existed, or why it just didn't make any sense to me. To me, it felt like I'm living a lie in a way, like, because
I get you what you mean.
because I can play this thing and I go to a party and I play it and I get paid and I can pay my rent, and but I'm not building a house. I'm not making bread for people.
Yeah.
So what value does music have?
Yeah.
What value does art have? Isn't it something unnecessary extra stuff?
Right.
And it took me a goddamn long time to realize that we actually need art as much as we need like air or food or houses and stuff. Yeah. If we don't have art, we don't have a channel to express ourselves.
Yeah.
And I understood that I kind of survived my teenage years because of the music, and that my calling has a hell of a lot higher, like my calling is higher than the whole sex, drugs, and rock and roll, because that's what I thought at first.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of I was humbled after little by little realizing it, that I'm serving the music makes sense, and I serve my role is to serve people in need.
Yeah.
Whoever needs my
Yeah.
music, I need it. I need to I needed it, and I still need it, and I don't feel great if I don't get to play the guitar.
Yeah.
We're talking. Yeah. And so yeah, I guess I made my point.
Yeah, we're
Art
talking
matters.
about
Art
we're
really
talking about
matters.
really important stuff. We're talking about the meaning of life stuff here.
Yes.
Why are we here? Why are we here? And something that took for me also, like, I don't know how old I got before I kind of started realizing the fact that I'm here so that I could first of all, that I could heal, that I could become that person that that I'm supposed to grow up into, that responsible adult person, that is just imprisoned by whatever traumas, whatever fears, whatever all the crap. And it comes from so many generations back. It's not like pointing fingers, to my parents or any specific person, because it's just this vicious cycle that keeps going and going. And the best I can hope, like talking about the meaning of life, talking about kind of understanding and becoming bit by bit the better version of yourself, and then or over and over again the better version of yourself. Is that that you could make the world a little bit better place to a few people around you, at least, or maybe even more if things go really well, but kind of that way, and hoping that maybe by processing through some of this difficult stuff and being able to let go of that baggage from the past that I've been carrying and I've been angry about, and that's been painful for me. It's that maybe if I process some of it, maybe my kids don't need to carry all that baggage anymore. Maybe some of that stuff is, that's
exactly, like, that's it. If we don't deal with these kind of things, we're just gonna pass it on to the kids.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
that's and it takes a lot of courage to face it.
Yeah.
And that's why that's one of the reasons what I have so much respect for you, is you're just an example of that. I wish the adult in my life would have done as you have, and and it's so inspiring. And I don't think I'll ever be able to put in words how much of a positive impact you've had in my life. And now here we're going to the patting of the backs again.
Yeah.
but
Petteri, you're gonna
yeah.
I don't know what to say to that. I'm just
going to come into your podcast and embarrass you.
No, you're not embarrassing me. I'm really honored of you saying that, and well, people, you can't know, of course, exactly what we're talking about. We're friends with Petteri. We've talked a lot about important things and shared difficult things that have been going on in our lives. You actually know some of those things that I've been talking to you on some of my earlier podcasts of those things as well. But to go to a little bit lighter ground, let's watch a little clip of music. This is the first, and this is now from the time when the little Petteri has already grown up to much more responsible adult person. From
or somewhat more.
It is the first single from Petteri's fourth solo album, Resolution. Not the whole tune, but a clip from it. So San Francisco Drive. Right, we're back. Speechless. People write down your comments below. Where is that camera? There. Wow.
So that's what I do. That's my job.
It's amazing. Amazing.
Glad you did.
But you have Petteri, you have a parallel career, almost like with electric guitar. Even if you're better known from what we just saw, you've played electric guitar with bands such as Don Johnson Big Band, the Northern Governors in Finland, and my personal favorite. Well, I love the other ones as well, but my personal favorite, and you know this, the band called Dead Serious 3000. Man.
Yeah.
When will you guys conquer the world?
Yeah, we'll see about that. It's a passion project, and it's a lovely. We're a fun bunch, but it's hard to get. Everybody's so busy. It's hard to get together. Make more music. But yeah, we've released quite a few tunes this year.
Yeah, and I now right now I have the feeling I'm sensing with my spider sense that a lot of the viewers have not heard Dead Serious 3000. So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna watch another clip. Man, I love this song, the energy and everything about it. We're gonna listen to a little clip from a song called "I Won't Stop My Dance."
Good times run so fast. Turn into wallet photographs. Makes you wonder how you reach the place you are in now. Ba-ba-da. wonder. Few times in the queue I lost my number, but I don't mind, cause I think like this, it breaks you inside to cling on a chance you missed. Ba-ba-da-ba, ba-ba-da-ba. I said, oh, let the rain come on.
Well, had to bring it to.
You got the motorcycle.
Of course, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The thing is that you know, okay, logical thing would have been stopped after the first chorus, playing a clip from the song, but I couldn't stop it there because the hilarious falling off from the moped, and I had to ask the question: did it hurt?
Hell yes, it hurt. It hurt a lot. That was one of those moments like, well, what wouldn't I do for a DIY music video?
But it's just one of those moments. Also, like, and when you listen to the music, people, I mean, fantastic stuff, right? And why isn't this conquering the world? The one of the reasons I wanted to play this tune was also because I think Dead Serious 3000, this is not the only tune. I mean, everything I've heard from you guys, it's just killer stuff. It's like world-class killer stuff. And I guess this is just the perfect example of just how challenging the music business can be. And especially in the modern time when so much music is, first of all, made, and at the same time, the channels of getting it like out big time have gotten so much more difficult. I don't know, I mean, how you guys have experienced it, or have you had time to like seriously go for it with this band? But I don't know, how do you feel about this part of your career? It's been, like you said, a pet project, and there's been maybe others that is it challenging? Like, I'm thinking that, you know, what you're doing, your solo career with the crazy stuff with the acoustic guitar, yep. It's like so out there that I guess the competition isn't as brutal as it could be in rock music, in pop music.
Yes and no. I mean, there are the game you're playing with those different projects, when you compare my solo stuff and any band situation, is very, very different.
Right.
Very, very different. So, for example, the plus side when you solo, these are my experiences. The plus sides when I'm solo, small costs, good pay.
Yeah.
Easy to kind of, you know what's going to happen most of the time. Like, you're in control in a way. Now, compare that to a band.
And you need to fit the schedules of a one person.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, with a band, you have more costs for doing anything, basically. Yeah. And so it means it cannot accumulate as much income, and it's just so much more hard to manage.
Yeah.
So it means that if you're doing a band, all the personnel in the band have to concentrate with the same focus that I've had, for example, with my solo career.
Yeah.
It could have been better, in a way. Yeah. So it's really demanding to get like a big band project out there. And right. I tilt my hat to any of the great, massive, big groups out there, and even the small ones. But you can see, like, for example, when I taught music history at the conservatory, one example was like U2.
Yeah.
The guys don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah.
They do it because that's what they want to do. That's what they love to do. Yeah. And it comes across in not only when they perform, but also behind the scenes in contract papers. It's not like I think they sent like was it like a letter to Teosto or Gramex, like, I think there's something missing with the payments or something like this. I might be making this up, the story, but basically the paper that came there was like every guy in the band had signed that letter personally. Isn't that like meaning like when you really want to do it, you don't play around. You like you're the God lives in detail. Like you do everything, and you know. So, but back to the downsides and upsides with being solo and versus a band. When you solo, you're probably not gonna get like the main headliner stage at an outdoor festival. With a band, you can. And it doesn't matter how much of a production value thing there is, or even if the solo act would kill on the big stage. But it's like a psyche thing that, you know, we put the solo thing on the small stage and the band on the big stage. Yeah. And I saw this happening a lot, for example, in Frankfurt Music Messe, where they would do this. Like, I would play a whole ton of shows at the Frankfurt Music Messe, but they always would put me in a small stage. And then one time I came with serious, on the big main stage. Like, right. Dude, I could have rocked the big main stage for years already. But it's not for me to decide things like this. But you get like a different set of kind of opportunities and slots and these kind of things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's different. So okay, so we're I'm looking at the time, and we fast forward again. We fast forward to year 2020. You had things going well for you. You had a tour booked and everything, I think, and then COVID-19. And what was the impact on your career?
Oh,
I mean, most of us we know this, but I know this. But let's.
Yeah. Okay. What happened? Everything stopped. The world stopped. Everything ceased to exist. When it comes to playing music, playing live, meeting people, connecting with people, being present to other people, and sharing experiences, like that just ceased to exist. What happened? My shows got canceled. For a long time, I just kind of stayed home, rolling my thumbs, and depression, shit. What else can you say? And it's not only like the losing the work and that kind of stuff, but I think this is, you can see this peak of like mental need of care for stuff in the world, like with whole distancing and losing art. And the whole, like, because we go to live music, we go to live events to experience living in the moment and being experiencing the togetherness of group, and that is very human. That is very, very human, and it's a human need to have that every now and then. And that's why it is important. And when it was not an option anymore, it had a bad impact on a lot of people. I hope this would be recognized, that the value of music and arts is that it also decreases the need for mental health issues.
Because
more.
I totally couldn't agree more. And like I heard from a long time, many years ago, on a radio program, the Finnish conductor, violinist Pekka Kuusisto was talking about talking about music and what is music, and probably I've talked about it in some other episode of these broadcasts as well. But it was just so to the point what he said, that music being inscribed to our genetic code, and it's like it's part of that.
Yes,
like you said, a very human experience, and something like. And this is the brilliant thing that he said in the radio show, is that imagine if an alien species from another planet, from another solar system would come to our planet, and they would not have the concept of music and rhythm and the tribal, the heartbeat of a rhythm in a piece of music, and they wouldn't have it in their culture. That how would we explain to them what is it? Because it's so basic, it's so inscribed. And like you said, as a therapeutic form, or in any of its endless layers, what music can be to people. That the emotional message that it carries. It's that emotional language that, removing that emotional language from our communication. It's really
exactly.
Yeah.
But in scientific research, I once read an article about music has the most direct connection to our emotions, compared to other arts like paintings or moving pictures, what we see, but the hearing has, like, there's no barrier. It goes straight into our emotions, and you can kind of you hear a sad song, you kind of, okay, that right away it brings you a feeling of this and that, and another like uplifting song, that's other emotion, and it's the language of emotion.
Exactly. Okay, after we're it's not like we're over the pandemic, but after picking the pieces, reviving from the shock, and now already like we're a year and a half more into the pandemic. Has there been positive effects, would you say, to you as a?
Well, it's a funny thing. 2020 was a dark year. It represented a lot of challenges, and not only the whole COVID thing, but also it's sort of byproducts of just staying at home indoors, just too much, you kind of become a bit crazy when you stay at home enough, and then all these kind of things. But towards the end of the year in 2020, so the good things, let's concentrate on the good things. Challenges rose, and eventually I had to kind of face them, and it has gone well. When you fail, no challenge was met, and like it would have gone like, easy, this is easy, I'll do this and this is fixed. No, hell no, everything was hard. and but you kept on trying to find solutions to difficulties, and things started to happen. Eventually you find the right keys to the locks. So what happened? Okay, I started to do a hell of a lot of art grant applications. And so what positive did 2020 bring? I became a better writer at art grant applications, and I'm actually really happy about that, because it has I maybe 10% of the applications I write, and I've written like months. I've used months of working hours to write these applications, but small amount of them came through, and I've been very fortunate to survive the pandemic and survive it until throughout the next year as well. And so that's positive.
Congratulations, that's great.
Thank you so much. I mean, I never thought I'd be what do you call it? Apuraha-artisti, taiteilija.
Yeah, in Finland you can well, in other countries you have these systems as well, but in Finland, arts, culture, it's you can apply for contributions from different kinds of foundations, from government, from there's a lot of different operators out there to support the culture, support arts, which okay, let's not go into, we could dive into how the Finnish government has dealt with the pandemic during the past 18 months or so, but let's not go into that now. I dedicated one whole episode for that. What did COVID-19 do to musicians, do to the artists, performing artists? Let's not go into that in this episode. But anyways, congratulations. Moving on to the positives.
Thank you. I've been very, very lucky. Been very, very fortunate. There is so much luck that has happened, and you look back and like, geez, I'm so happy this and that happened, and it was hard, but we survived, and we have a home, we have a family, we're sort of safe,
right?
Of the at least of these things that kind of swept over the whole world. But circling back, also is that like my personal little happiness thing is I started meditating around midsummer and on daily basis, and now it's day 100 and almost 140.
Oh, wow.
I try to get like 1 year of meditations like every day. and that because the thing is, like, I lost my ability to sleep at some point last year,
right,
and that kind of stuff, and but I have to say, damn, I did not expect it, like, but the whole meditation thing really, I was able to sleep again, and that kind of stuff. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm gonna keep doing that hopefully for the rest of my life. And it's funny when I look back to any good parts of my life and my history, there's all the good parts have this contemplative exercises happening,
right?
And the bad years don't have that.
Right.
So, but the thing is, I always kind of approached it like, because I've done yoga and meditations and throughout my life a little bit to some extent, and I always kind of approached it at they happen and they come naturally when the time is right, and they happen naturally when my life is good and steady.
Yeah.
and now I'm starting to kind of like think like, yeah, to an extent, yes, but but you could also just keep doing it, and maybe it will maybe it goes other way around as well.
Yeah.
Like maybe
yeah.
Maybe you should kind of consider doing
well there's
more, more consistent with your practice.
Well, there's the thing that good things in life like this, good routines, good habits, because it is good habits in life that help us and help us endure, and
yes,
and the problem oftentimes for us human beings, I know I'm so relating to what you've been now talking about, and the thing is that when we fail, and we will fail, the day comes when you notice that hell, you didn't meditate today, you know, and then what? Then there's the risk. Then there's the risk, you know, you thinking like, oh, okay, so I failed, so to hell with it, you know, I'll just it wasn't for me, you know, or something like that. It's oftentimes you fall, you make that mistake. It's like a recovering alcoholic, you know, you fall, and we forget to be gentle to ourselves and love ourselves enough to remember that, hey, basically there's two rules in life that we can set to ourselves. The first one is that, you know, stay on that path. And the second one is that when you fall from that path, get back on the path. You know, and it's simple as that. I'm not very good at that always, but I try to remember. So anyways, this is good. This is good stuff. And I'm going to ask you one more question. What's next for Petteri Sariola?
Oh, damn. So what I have to do now is work on a lot of music. What's next? A live album is coming out.
If there are secrets, you don't need to reveal us, but give us a hint.
Okay, I'll give some solid stuff and some more ethereal stuff. So solid stuff first. My live album is coming out next spring. And then my new acoustic studio album comes out, hopefully, 1 year from now.
Right.
And after that, I will venture into something exciting and beautiful, and I have this plan that I will... there might be like an acoustic electric hybrid instrument in the plans, and I hope I will be able to create completely new music for a completely new kind of instrument, and use use like a whole big chunk of my life working on that, and that's gonna probably last anywhere between let's say 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
But let's see if that happens. The plan exists, and that's all I can say about that at this point.
Okay, that's all you have to say about
that. I'm thrilled about. I'm really thrilled about the plan.
Everybody,
the stories that it can convey are so tasty.
Okay, well, I can't wait. And one thing is for certain, that everybody watching this stream, everybody has their fingers crossed that these plans go as planned. We all wish the best, you know. Yeah. So, God, these streams they just keep getting longer. But nevertheless, Petteri, a guitar lesson.
Oh, we forgot.
A guitar lesson. We must, guys. Hey. Gals, pick up your guitars. Yeah, in the last week episode, I told Mika Tyyskä how I'm a prisoner of the pentatonic scale, and he expanded my horizons with one more note, the Dorian mode. so my prison walls don't feel quite so suffocating anymore after that. And now
Dorian.
Now it's Petteri's turn to embarrass me in public. Which is all right, you know. It's good for my ego. A little humiliation every now and then. It's just fine. So show me. But wait a second. I'll grab my guitar. I need to do something. What do I need to do? I need to do that. I need to move my chair, and I try to do all this without breaking the guitar. I have here the guitar. This is actually a Dreadnought guitar that my wife has made. This is Emma has made this guitar a long time ago. So.
Okay, so first of all, I'm sorry. My prepping has been poor, so this is gonna. I'm sorry, this is gonna happen now, but I'm gonna tune my guitar. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do this. So yeah,
people, that's how you tune up a guitar. That was the lesson number 1.
Tune up.
Yeah, I think I'm tuned up. Okay, yeah. If we're in standard A tuning, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, we're in standard now. Okay, I'll show you some like percussive guitar basics that I usually like to teach at workshops. I mean, okay, I'm trying to find a good spot for the camera here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, here we go. So, first of all, now we're gonna learn how to strum and do a kick drum and a snare drum.
Okay.
Yeah, and no worries, we're not gonna use our left hand basically.
Okay.
So you can the left hand can take a beer and party.
Sure.
But right hand is gonna have a pickle. So first of all, we're gonna go through the motions. Okay, so first some just basic strumming, and now it's gonna happen like this. That most of that strumming happens with not so much by going up and down with the whole arm, but using your fingers, like they open up.
Okay.
Against the strings. Okay. So far so good, right? Perfect.
Okay.
You're my star student, Juha. Excellent.
Shut up.
Next up. Yes. so then the next thing is that we're gonna do a kick drum motion. Now, the good kick drum is like this: that you put your 4 fingers on the wound strings, okay, and you got your arm anchored on the side of the guitar as you normally do. And then you're going to basically hump the top of the guitar like this. Sorry about that.
Okay, it wasn't that funny what I was doing.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. So good,
bursting out laughter. Like, blah.
No. That's my.
Yeah, right. Right.
As me and my brother usually say, V-minute came up. The last spring in Finnish, in English. So so then we're gonna look at the snare. Okay, now the snare is a bit simple, a bit more simple. It's gonna be just turning the wrist and hitting the top of the guitar with your thumb. And the thing with the wrist is that you just turn the wrist and don't move the thumb at all. Keep it in the same position.
The latency is difficult.
It is.
Okay.
Curse you, latency. Okay. So we got our 3 motions down.
3 motions,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're gonna do now is we try to kind of mash them together. So
this is where I'm getting nervous.
Yeah, this is the bit where things get tricky bit. So the strumming. So while you strum down, you do the kick drum. So like this.
Oh Jesus! You're kidding me.
So every time you hit down, you open up the fingers against the strings.
How long did you say that you had to practice this? 1.5 years? 2 years? 3 years? 4 years?
2 months.
2 months? You're kidding.
Remember, I did fail a lot of classes during that time.
So Emma, in case that I won't be in bed tonight, you know what I'll be doing for the rest of the night. Remember what Petteri said? He didn't sleep, he didn't eat. He just kept doing this weird thing for 2 days straight.
It's terrible. It's terrible. We're going to lose you as a luthier, Juha. No. So the thing, remember, Juha.
Yep.
Remember that when you kind of play, your arm is not going to go like that, but rather it's going to be pretty static.
Yeah, there was this.
Yeah. Okay. And now, the next thing we're going to do is do the same with the snare drum. So we kind of do strumming and turn the wrist while we down the strings and turn the wrist and head down the top with our thumb.
I won't be able to do this.
Oh no, you can do it, Joe.
Can you do it again?
So you kind of, you strum down and then you head down your thumb while you strum, when you do like a downward strum. Perfect. Yeah.
This is difficult. Okay.
We
need to do this in a very compressed, just the basic things, and then I'll keep on practicing. And you guys and gals keep on practicing as well, because Petteri is coming back in 1 year. Oh no, 2 months, and he's gonna be inspecting our development.
Yeah. That's the kind of person I am. I'll barge into other people's podcast series to check up. Like, how have you progressed? That's the person I am.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mash these things together to create actual beat. Okay. So, now we got the strumming, and we're going to alternate with the kick drum and the snare. Like this. Kick, snare. A snare, a kick, a snare, a kick, a snare. Continue, Juha. You can do it.
I could imagine if I continue doing this for 24, 48 hours straight, I might catch it.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so this is good. This is good for now. So we guys, we have learned a secret technique from Petteri.
Okay.
And this might be our ticket to the stars.
Exactly. And, and just to give you a quick idea, like, okay, that's the old. I'll just quickly show you why this matters.
Show me. I'm gonna put my guitar away and sit down so you can show us.
So, okay, now what's important is, like, okay, you got like basically a 16th note hi-hat with the strums, and now we're gonna add a couple of kick drums like this. Kick, a snare, a kick, a snare, a kick, a snare, a kick, a snare. So far, so good. Now, that's a nice drum beat.
Yeah.
And now what we're going to do is we're going to take out one of those kick drums, and the whole vibe of this beat is going to change. It's going to go like this. A kick, a snare, a kick, snare, a kick, a snare, a kick, a snare.
Like you would do as a drummer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the whole feel of the music changes with these little small changes. And now we're gonna double time the snare. Oh, it has a different feeling altogether. And then we're gonna And now we're gonna do something else. We're gonna go into like this kind of beat. A kick, snare, and a kick, snare, and a kick, snare, and something else. Now we're gonna go into a waltz like a kick and a snare and a kick and a snare and maybe the what's the song called? Maybe, now let's put on some more kick drums. Don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. But here's a fun thing. We still haven't used our left hand at all.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see it coming.
Your left, yeah. The thing is, your left hand can be like your normal campfire rhythm guitar player's left hand. So basically, you just kind of choose which notes ring and which don't. So, I'm a bit out of tune. This is not going to sound great. Why not shoot somehow? I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And here's the thing. You bring in the kick drum, and then you bring in the snare. I've done many things that I would like to take you, but I don't know how. I said, maybe.
Thank you.
So you can do a lot of different beats and songs with just having this and alternating with the kicks and snares and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that went a bit long, maybe.
No. Don't worry about it. Somebody said here. Somebody says here. Falkenbilla says, could watch this kind of guitar lessons for hours. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for commenting so much. I can see that my daughter Juno is there also, and all you people, Lisa, Jana, Vincent, Kipponi, Junnu, all you people. I'm not saying all your names. There's so much comments that it's crazy, but we thank you, and this was fun. This was very cool.
Yes.
And now
good stuff, good questions, good talk.
And all fun needs to end. So we call it a day, and time for Petteri to go home, to Viivi and to Jenni, and for me to go home to Emma and Elias. Petteri, thank you. It was such a pleasure, an honor, and I love you, as you know, and I hope we see each other again soon.
I love you too, man. Thank you so much for having me on this show. It means a lot to me. Long time fan, first time live.
Thank you. It's been a blast.
Oh,
and I'm really happy that we got through some of those low spots as well, the difficult spots as well, because
hell yeah.
I think
life is so much about the balance.
Yeah.
That's what I learned when I got back on the track back in 2013. Was like, life is about the balance. Like the music career is not going to work if everything else around it is complete crap. So you had to kind of sort that stuff out, and then the music career started to flourish in a whole nother way.
Yeah.
So it's life is all about the balance.
Yeah, and the crisis points, whatever low points there is, and whatever challenges and those worst days, and there's always something that they teach us, and so we can be grateful for those times as well, because those are the times that actually give us that wake up call that, hey guy, man, it's time to wake up and do something with your life. And
yes,
yeah, it's all, and knowing people and different ages, different walks of life, reading biographies of people, and no matter where you look, we're all the same. It's the same. It's the same story written in so many.
We're all trying to kind of get through this human experience. Yeah. No matter whether you're wherever you are, whoever you are. And
then we die.
And then we die.
Yes.
I ran out of vodka. Damn. Get me more.
Okay. Petteri, okay, I'm gonna say bye now to you, and you can hang on the line in the green room, as it says in my Ecamm live software, if you want.
Yeah.
If you want to know, since you're a fanboy of the show, if you want to know what's coming up next week, which I think might be exciting for you to see, because that's what I'm gonna tell you next. But first, yes. I'm gonna kick you out from the live broadcast and kick you out to the say bye to Petteri. Bye. And
thank you for having me. Dankeschön. Greetings to Emma and Elias. Cheers.
There we go. What a nice person. This is the best part, a privilege for me to get to work with so many nice human beings. It's just amazing. So, okay, what's in store for the next Weekly Wednesday Live? Well, I will have another guest who I will give you a lead. Wait a second. I will give you a lead.
What do you want to do with your life?
Okay. Any guesses? Anyone? Let's see. The live chat is a little. There's a bit of that latency. Let's see if someone gets the hint. What do you want to do with your life? Do we get an answer? We probably won't get an answer. We will get an answer if we wait a while, but we don't have time to wait for that. So how is that continuing? What do you want to do with your life? I want to rock. Yeah, my guest for next Wednesday will be John J.J. French of Twisted Sister, and we're going to talk about his new book. This one, Twisted Business, a book that I just finished reading a couple of days ago, and I sent JJ a text message, and I told him what I thought of the book, and I asked if he'd join the show, and he agreed, excited. So we'll have a genuine rock star from the 1980s as a guest. Whoa! So bring your friends, popcorn, it will be fun. So what did I think of the book? Nope, you have to wait till next Wednesday to find out. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wait until next week. You guys are gonna share the word. JJ Friends interview on this channel. Right now it's time to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications, all right? And we'll be back next week. Thank you everyone for your support. Take care of your loved ones. Be well. Stay safe. Peace, love, and good music.